Hey, it's us once again. I'm JT. I have my homeboy with me. Say something like B.
What it do?
And that's what he says. Welcome, as always, to another quickie soda of Iyanla's Fix My Life.
I feel like we are the most welcoming show. Well, we say welcome
we might have a new person.
No, I'm saying how many times you say it.
Welcome. Only said it once, now.
19 times already. I've been counting.
Can I do it once first before you say something?
Go ahead.
And let me do it twice. Welcome to another Iyanla Fix My Life. We got the House of Healing with the 8 women, of course. You all been watching it with us. And this is the 3rd episode, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So let's get started. They pick up where we left off. They basically had like a little sit around talking about what happened. Was it the night before?
No, it was the same night at the mixer
with the mixer. Yeah. And Iyanla getting some of the responses from the women.
Oh, that was the next morning. I thought you were talking about the women after the mixer because they went all to the
That's
room.
what I'm talking about. And
Iyanla wasn't there though. She was the next
morning.
morning.
Okay. Well, it seemed like that was the same day.
They still had on they mixer clothes, still a little tipsy or whatever.
Yeah, I remember they, because we were talking about, we were saying, they joking with each other, what's going on. Right. The twins going back and forth about what happened. Mm-hmm. Lita talking about her sister.
If it was a different day, I felt like it was the same day.
It seemed like they was in the same seats. Seemed like, I don't know. I wasn't that observant to see do they got on the same outfit? But they was in the damn near the same room, and
they were getting along.
They were.
It was surprising.
And I'm like, is Lena there? I'm like,
you looking for the
is she being ostracized? Yeah. I'm like,
she was there,
but she was there.
Yeah, everybody.
It seemed like everybody was this episode. The women weren't each other's enemies,
right?
And so
that was good to see.
That was a good thing to see. They was joking what went down, and they
were all on Lita. They were all on her, and she took it, in stride. Yeah, they were just making jokes. They were having a good time.
She knew,
but she was like, hey, I never said I didn't have it. Like, I got it.
Yeah,
and they looking at her like, you got something.
Yeah,
and her sister was looking like. Too hot.
You always got it, goddamn it.
That's the problem.
She said, "I met him first, and
he passed me by.
Yeah, he had no type of he wasn't interested in me at all.
Right, and then, I'm like, they look the same. Like, what can you see?
But it's a to me, I can tell the difference. Well, one of them got like a mole on the lip. But I never even some of the features. They look alike, but you can tell differences though.
All right. So the next morning, Iyanla came.
Yeah, next morning Iyanla came, and and she was like, "So how'd you think about the mixer?" And it was still light, mm-hmm. the energy in there, and they basically saying what they said last night after the mixer to Iyanla, and Iyanla joking with them, and everybody feeling good about themselves, mm-hmm. And then she had she was going one by one. I think had the women sit down in front of her, one of the women, and after they got all the good shit out the way, it was back to business, and I think she brought up Lyra, that's Rick Ross's old girl, right? Yeah. and I guess she was telling her story, and she she was like, how you
don't whisper,
how you feel, and she was like, I feel like a broken girl in a woman's body. Mm. And basically, her mind state, emotional mind state, is still back when she was a child, and she told us about, her father.
Yep.
Living only like 3 blocks down from her house. Mm-hmm. It almost sounded like Tyrone was across the street. That's worse.
I forgot about that.
Tyrone.
Yeah, he was on.
Yeah. We know about old brother too.
He weeped too.
Oh yeah. And so she told about that and how that relationship was that he left her mama and ended up marrying a white lady, mm-hmm. and taking care of playing daddy to her kids,
right?
And that of course
I'm
that's
sure
gonna make you feel
exactly
some type of way,
right?
Not just that is white folk, but just period that your daddy is taking care and loving some other woman's kid, and you got a child not even a city away, just a couple of blocks down the street. You can walk to your daughter's house.
It doesn't make sense to a child. Like, even though my father was, states away, I still didn't understand why I didn't see him as often. That was a problem.
Yeah,
to
like
me.
he didn't make an effort.
Yeah.
Somewhat, I do have a son in Kansas City.
Right, and he started another family, we ain't gonna this ain't
we gonna have
Mike's life.
Fixed Mike. That's what I'm saying. Get some tissue with Mike B.
It ain't about me.
The apartment of healing.
But I feel like you just disrespected my house.
Nigga, you live in an apartment. You want everybody to know you live in an old five-piece bedroom house or something?
Proceed.
And then Lyra told us about, when she was 14, she said, I made a mistake. And we already knew what, like she must have got pregnant. And she said, I thought it was a chance for my father, basically, to step up to the plate.
And reconcile with me.
And he basically just shunned me. And like, I don't want nothing to do with you.
Disowned her completely.
Yeah. And, and she that kind of start,
If that was your daughter, I would feel some type of way if my daughter, having getting pregnant at such a young age.
Yeah.
But then what do you expect when you're not a part of her life? You're not doing anything to help teach her the right way.
Mm-hmm.
So to disown her, it's like I want absolutely nothing to do with you. And that's also trying to take the responsibility that he has on this situation away.
He's at least 50% part of the problem. She still has to make her own decisions, but still at a young, impressionable age,
right?
You don't know everything,
right?
You need guidance. That's what parents are for.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Especially with young women and men. You're gonna need, that father figure at least. To give you the ins and outs, what booby traps are out there.
Right.
Because men set them.
Even if he's not actively telling you, you're seeing the way he's responding to your mom, so you're starting to pick up on that type of stuff.
At least have a healthy relationship. Right. They can't tell you everything.
Right.
Parents ain't God, and so but at least be there. Be present.
Yeah,
and whatnot. And She got done with Lyra, and then she got with Lita, the other twin. But, Lita is the one, I think that she was kind of hot to try, ain't it? I don't think that Rita is the one that was married.
Lita, she said she slept with people for money.
Yeah, that was her shame.
Yeah,
and that does sound somewhat shameful. You giving it up for a little bit of piece of change.
Yeah,
and so for a woman to do that, that. I'm pretty sure that you feel some type of way.
Yeah.
She
said she felt degraded or something like that.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
And I think she said, and then Iyanla said, I'm proud of you for sharing. Don't feel so defeated or ashamed. You basically told us your shame, and so I'm not going to be disrespectful to you. I'm proud of you for coming out and. Sharing it, because everybody can't, because you've been, I ain't gonna say hoeing, but you prostituting yourself.
Yeah.
If you just make it plain, you was prostituting yourself if you taking money.
Right. And that's one of the things that Iyanla tried to get the women to see, as well as everybody else. I think it was with Lyra when she was talking to her how. Because she felt bad that, her mistake that she made at 14. But then she asked the other women, like, how many of you have made, if not the same mistake, something else that you felt that dishonored you or whatever. And
like
everybody had their hand up, because when you're young, you make mistakes. Especially when you don't have your parents there to give you that guidance like you were talking about. Mm-hmm. So seeing that what you're keeping as a secret, other people are also going through,
maybe they
kind of helps the healing process.
Yeah. It almost feels good to hear somebody else going through it, because you're not the only one.
Right. I think a lot of people, not just women, a lot of people feel like it was only me. And so I don't want to shame myself.
Like it ain't, 50 million people out in the world, or however many people, and not, you're not the only one that has at least some type of problem or the same problem like everybody else.
Right.
And that leads us to Rita. And Rita told about how how her and her father, her father saying you gaining weight, you got a pretty face, but you want to be presentable.
To the opposite sex. I've said that though too, and never really thought anything about it.
Too.
like just women. Like you look good for a big girl.
I've never said that.
I've said it
because that's rude.
I know. I honestly, I know it's rude. This is me healing myself, brother.
That's like saying you look good for an old person.
Well, when you're young, you don't really understand like the rudeness in it because you're thinking you guys are joking or whatever. And well, we've said it though. We haven't said it to.
That's what I'm saying, but you
I said it to her. Yeah,
of course I might. You gonna say stuff. But
even joking. I understand now, like what it really means, like what it's actually doing. Yeah. Just putting that out in the atmosphere.
You might put a old little dagger in somebody, Mike. Yeah. You didn't even know it.
I didn't.
Goddamn. And then we go to old Jamika, and Jamika came out with her little nugget and said, that she was abused. I think at 8 or 9 years old. We found out later in the show she gave us the whole detail that that it was her birthday.
Yeah.
Just think. She said the person she didn't say how it was related to, but the person said I had a balloon or something,
an umbrella,
a purple umbrella, and said this your gift, and she was like okay. He said well give me a kiss and then I'll give it to you. She gave him a peck on the cheek. Nah,
that ain't enough.
I want an old grown up kiss. And she said he tongued her down, gave her a French kiss and shit. Then I guess took her wherever, and she said he took my virginity, and whatnot, and that's when Iyanla took her to the whacking room, and I think that's where what's her name with the C,
Cristal
was there before that we talked about. She had the little punching bag, had a little bat. And went at it, and all of a sudden you see the house, and it was quiet, and all we heard is screech. It remind me of Fresh Prince when Jazz, when they throw Jazz at the house. It's quiet. You hear the sprinklers, and all of a sudden I'm sorry. That's what I felt on that one. Who else was she talking about? Oh no, that's when she brought in the men.
Yeah.
And so it was the men's turn to come and basically tell their piece. She had the women sitting on one side and had Ishmael from the mixer come back. And the first person was Tyrone, I believe. Yeah. And he's basically saying, women be faking, basically faking till they make it. All on what's it, on Instagram or whatnot. And I forgot like his main thing. I think he's the one. Is he the one? No, that's Bo. But he was basically saying, they fake.
Yeah, and then he's saying like you guys try to make us feel inadequate. We out here doing what we're supposed to do, but you all make it seem like we're not good enough.
You always want somebody popping or somebody that's on
the hottest thing. Yeah,
and you have just a regular working brother.
Yeah,
you treat him like shit, or you just dismiss him.
Right.
He got to be having some type of money,
flashing. That's when old girl was like, I popped my own bottles. Lyra.
Yeah.
And Iyanla, because the exercise, the women were simply supposed to just listen to what the guys were saying.
She said them in front of two of the women. It was always a one person and then two people women, that you're talking to.
Yeah.
And she's like, I popped my own. And I'm like, hold up.
Yeah, you ain't supposed to be talking.
Yeah. And
oh boy, that's when he's like, you upset? Because I feel like you upset.
Yeah.
And Iyanla asked him, like, what do you do when a situation like this happens or the way you feel? He said, that's when I just go and move over to the Latin woman.
Then we go to Bo, and he was still on his same thing, like women aren't submissive.
Yeah.
I go home, I work all day, and get treated whatever, and then I come home and I got a battle with you. You saying whatever this and that. I got to deal with your attitude.
Yep.
I don't want to deal.
Right.
I don't want to deal with that.
Can I have peace?
In my home.
Yeah.
And that's number one thing for men. Men just sit out in the car and chill. Cause I don't want to
go in the house.
Because once I go in, it'll start. Yeah, it will start, and I don't have no peace. Hell, that's why I'm going to the bar. Shit.
Mm-hmm. I understood where he was coming from.
I ain't got time. Okoro, that's the one that you said kind of surprised you.
Last week?
No, today when you said his response.
Oh yeah, I wasn't expecting his response.
You know, he gave a clear explanation of how he felt. You know,
and he was trying to get the women to see, like, it's not. I understand you guys are
a little bit on the man's side,
but you know we have the same issues. We try to approach you and talk to you guys, but y'all shoot us down.
Y'all talking about Miss Independent and all of that.
We can't come to our black women and approach you and be with you. Why get mad when I go to the white woman who accepts me?
Or be emotional or sensitive. Yeah. He said, you know, I have a diary, you know, and I tell women about this, and
they look at it as a weakness.
Yeah, they think it's like, you know, grab some balls, do some push-ups.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm trying to be sensitive with you.
Right.
And, you know, you want men to, you know, be this type of way, but then when you get one like that,
it's just too much.
I wasn't expecting all this pink.
Yeah.
You know, I need some.
And he seemed like he was, you know, getting emotional just talking about it.
Yeah. And his boys in the back.
Yeah. They like
this boy about to
cry.
Balling.
Yeah. He was like he was about to cry.
He was.
It like, you know, like calm down. She had to,
use your tools.
Yeah.
Because it was getting a little, you know, emotional. And then
it must be something that he has to deal with on a daily basis. Even though
it seemed like he tries to be good. It seemed like he's been wounded by a woman, and so he's a good guy turned bad, basically. You know, a reversal of how we think of women a lot of times.
Okay,
you know, we have Michael, the comedian of the group. So he says,
this is the one that I told you I didn't understand what was going on.
He was and his thing was, like, you know, it's the same thing he was talking about. You know, I grew up with black women always shooting me down. You know, I like to play
weird
on the beach
with no shoes,
and they thinking that basically black. He said that he's a weirdo.
Yeah,
you know, and
it's one of those, like, you doing what we don't. Black people don't
expect this, you know.
Yeah, especially a black man,
like he's like a black dude from Australia or something.
Yeah,
you know,
playing cricket. Like they say, black people they don't do that. You playing the flute, brother. So I mean, I understand what he's talking about, because you just don't. If you're not used to it or accustomed to thinking outside the box,
they talk about it. And I can sure think about that.
Yeah,
you know,
not saying
he's aunties and cousins and all that. You know, growing up, and he's saying that's psychological to the. For some reason, Iyanla she ain't there for that. But for what he talking about, you know, she like, nah. And then he said, you know, there's, you know, the generation that we have now is effed up. You know, you talking about, I got all this money, I'm independent.
Yeah, talking about how flashy and braggadocious the women are. Yeah. And it seemed like he was directing more of his conversation to Lyra. And I think that's kind of when Iyanla was like, you know, bring it back to the group. Versus...
He never, you know, I don't think she said, like, bring it back to the group. She saw that whatchamacallit felt some type of way.
Yeah. Because it seemed like he was talking to her.
But he said he wasn't, you know.
But you saw him. He was looking.
But I think.
How old are you?
But I think
I'm talking about your age.
To me, you know, I think he was still broad. Yeah. You know, had a broad stroke though.
Okay.
And you know what? Like I told you, was the saying. You know, you throw a rock in a crowd of people, and the only one that yells out is who it hits. And so, you know, nobody felt that type of way except her, because I believe she probably does that type of thing. You know, you've seen girls on Instagram or Facebook, you know, doing a stunt.
Yes.
And you know, he said, I don't know how young men do it now. You know, you got to compete with this, and you know, you got to have like extra. You got to be extra to please black women.
Yeah.
And you know, and that's what he was saying. And so she switched it up and reversed it, and this time had the women.
The next
talk about because they were pretty much done with, you know, the men saying they speak. And she twisted over, and so the men sat down and listened to what the women had to say. And I believe that who the first one was Lena, and she was saying, you know, basically, you know, I support black men, you know, even when they down and out, and then once they come up.
Yeah, they get on their feet.
They get on their feet. You know, they leave.
They go,
you know, she said, I decided to have, you know, a monogamous relationship with, you know, with a black man. You know, we have a daughter, and all of a sudden, you know, you wash your hands and leave the situation like
That's your daughter.
This your daughter. You know, I have nothing to do. And she
gone.
said, what makes a black man feel like, you know, he has no responsibilities, or how you just gonna leave like that? And you know,
that's a common story though.
Yeah, she said, how am I gonna walk around smiling, and I'm having this? You know, I'm going through this. So no, you not gonna see a old prissy smile and, you know, how do you do all the damn time? You know that you gonna get them darts.
Yeah.
You know, I'm having, you know, this is happening to me. And so, you know, and I've seen that, you know, with friends and family,
yeah.
You know, that, you know, with certain things like that. And then it go old Drea, we haven't really heard from her.
It's like, I thought she was just like a filler, a cast member, that they needed one more person.
Just one more.
Because we really haven't talked to her. We heard her discuss when they were talking about the prayer. But other than that, we haven't really heard too much from her.
And she, it looked like she had somewhat of I wouldn't say daddy issues, but it was just a household. And she was saying, like, I was raised in a household where men are being taken care of and doted on, and basically the women take a back seat. You know, my brothers are taken care of and basically loved, and I'm just.
Was she talking about like being like waited on hand and foot, or was she talking about women had to be the submissive ones and she wasn't really used to that? I didn't quite know what she meant by taken care of.
Well, you know, I think it was just basic love.
Okay.
You know,
men were the ones being shown affection,
or you know, like she said,
nobody
just basic
cared,
taking.
She said nobody cared about how
said,
I felt.
Yeah, once I got older, I didn't have the tools. You know, I've never been treated like that. So, you know, it seemed like she was like, I hurt before you hurt me type deal. You know, I'm gonna say something that I'm gonna find the deepest thing that you care about, and I'm gonna get at you with it.
Yeah, you know, women
I'm
do
gonna
that.
talk
She said,
about,
I'll
you know,
find the things that you don't like about yourself. I'm gonna bring them
and
up.
I'm gonna attack it. You know,
yeah.
Like the spiteful. Seem like she.
But that's, you know, how people
spiteful.
say when you're in an argument, like nothing's off limits.
No holds barred.
Yeah, exactly.
And it seemed like that's her
she lives by that creed.
Yeah, like I'm gonna get you before you even.
Right.
You know,
because she's hurt. So she said, hurt people.
She said, I'm not physical, but I'm
verbal with it.
I'm verbal with it, and I'm gonna cut you deep. And sometimes, and I say most of the time, verbal is more than physical. Yeah. You know, most of the time you can heal.
Because even in most of these situations, there's only been a couple that have been physical. Most of their pain and come from like actions and from verbal. So it definitely cuts deep.
Then we hit Crystal, and she starts with, you know, I was born in shame. Now this one I was kind of what it was. She said my mama looks white. She's black, but she looks white. Was her daddy black too?
She said her grandma told her mama, your baby gonna be ugly because the father is so black. He was too black.
He was too black. For some reason, it seemed like she had some, like white in her family for some reason.
Because of how white she is?
This is how she was talking and how they just disdain from black, or you know, like or like she had like a mixed grandma.
Maybe her
something.
mama didn't acknowledge herself as being black.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But you know, Iyanla kind of did the kind of said while they were doing the exercise. She kind of had a change of heart about her perspective on her mother.
Yeah, she was talking different about her.
Yeah, she's like, you know, I kind of know what she went through or what she had to go through.
Yeah, said, you know, she did her best to take care of me. And I'm like, this the woman, like they showed the clip that you said you don't care if you'll never talk again. She's dead to you. But now you understand where she, you know, that she tried her best. I'm like, how do we get here? We miss a lot. Clearly.
And you know, if you might have the mama on the show, she might have some problems with her mother when she said her grandmother, and when
your baby gonna be ugly.
Yeah,
the baby ain't
and
born
this
yet.
the grandmother telling you, not the mama.
Yes. So clearly,
I'm pretty sure the mama has issues with her grandmother.
Yeah.
You know,
with
Crystal's grandmother.
Yeah.
And so we heard Crystal's story. You know, she's saying she grew up and I guess she was having problems with her mother, and her mother said, "Hey, I'm done." She was 13. I'm gonna send you over to your daddy. Yeah. She said that I got off the plane. My dad didn't even recognize me. You know, she a 13-year-old. You know, I guess she was filled out.
Yeah.
And daddy said, you know, I was expecting a 13-year-old girl.
Yeah, with pigtails probably.
And you know, I got a 20-year-old looking woman.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I don't know if he treated her as such, and she said she started acting out with him. So I'm pretty sure he wasn't giving, you know, I ain't gonna say giving 2 cents, but he wasn't giving her, I guess, the attention that she needed.
Yeah, and then the fact that he didn't really know her.
No,
because he
not
wasn't
at all.
there the first 13 years of her
he
life.
didn't recognize it, so
yeah,
obviously
we knew
he didn't know her. I'm like,
so it's hard to be, discipline
get a
somebody
picture.
that you don't really know, and so you're trying to tell them what to do, and they're like, that's one of those. You ain't my dad.
Yeah, and kids,
yes,
they
try
get on disrespect. They'll do it.
Yeah,
and he said, now.
He said her ass back.
And he sent her back and said, I disown you. And she said, and then she said, it seemed like the first person that actually showed her some love. She said, I met a drug dealer. All the girls wanted him, all the dudes wanted to be him.
He wanted me.
And he wanted
I'm
me.
sure that made her feel so good inside.
Hell
Finally, somebody wanted.
It don't matter if a drug dealer.
Oh, I'm sure that was second nature.
And so he ended up going to jail. And then she said, I hooked up with some people to do a drug deal. And they said, okay, they flipped it. Instead of the drug deal, how about we just keep you and beat you up and hold you for ransom? And hold you for ransom, and for your homeboy in jail to give us some money.
Is that who? Because he was like, and they make them give us some money, or I'm gonna kill them. I'm like, who got the money?
I'm thinking the homeboy, because nobody else really.
Yeah,
really
I'm like, she's doing this for him.
So how his lawyers?
Like, no,
it was just
it seemed like it wasn't thought out.
No.
I wanted to hear the end of that. Like, how did you get?
Tell us the real story.
How did you get out of that?
And she was like, the only person that actually somewhat showed me affection or cared for me was in jail. I didn't have no black male to go to, no brother, no cousins, no daddy.
Yeah,
and so. Yeah, you're right. She didn't finish.
Yeah, I wanted to know how it ended.
How that ended. And so she talked to them, and it seemed like, I think is that the one, or was it Jamika when Michael? It was
Jamika,
his turn.
the next. Yeah.
Oh, brother
Jamika's
Mike,
next.
boy. He seemed like he was emotional the whole time. He was wiping his eyes. We saw him in the background.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, okay, I remember what you're talking about.
And wiping his eyes.
Talking,
and so the men went, they weren't assholes about the situation. Mm-hmm. They felt what the women were saying. Yeah. And taking into account what they saying and feeling some type of way about it.
Because it makes a difference when you actually get to hear some of where this comes from and why you're acting the way you're acting. Otherwise, it seems like it's coming from nowhere, and you just
all I get is the blowback.
Yeah, and I ain't got time for it. So
that's what Coral said. It's not my fault that this guy, hurt you.
Yeah.
Why I got to deal with it. I'm trying to show you the softer side of me. I'm trying to get to know you.
And you
heart.
disrespected me.
And you basically, it. So, and I'm glad that you said they having a male show.
I believe I watched her on Facebook. She had a live video, and she talked about the Healing House is going to continue. They're going to have, I think, a house where they're dealing with racial issues, and I think they're going to have one where they got the men on there. Because
I would love, to hear what we know what men are going through, but we like to have women know.
You think are men strong enough to actually go through the process?
Yes.
You say that.
I say I'm pretty sure you're gonna have some dudes that.
Oh, Michael's ready.
Oh,
he's ready for the process.
It seemed like once they got in that setting,
Coral
and Mike, because Michael was crying. It seemed like a lot, and Coral he had a clear face, and then the next minute, we saw that dude's face was so shiny. From crying, I'm like they had to do a different take.
Yeah, because all she said was, "I don't want to talk about it right now." Camera goes over to him,
and his face is just shining. I'm like,
she was crying. Sometimes, you get to the when you have a heart, JT, and you see other people are hurt, sometimes it well makes you hurt.
Yeah, you know what? That brings me back to my Royals when they won the Royal Series.
You teared up.
I had at least one tear, just slowly.
So it was tears of joy, though.
Slowly drop, but they tears might be.
If that's what you want to call
it. but anyway, and then I think that's when she went back to. I think when she went back with Jamika.
Yeah.
And she told Jamika to tell her story.
Mm-hmm. That's when we got the breakdown, like you were mentioning.
Yeah, I basically told you guys what she, the extra that she gave them, and after she got through, she was like, I need to go to the whacking room.
I need to go to the whacking room.
And y'all like, Again.
She said, "You seem like you pissed. You pissed again." Like, yeah, I need to go.
Well, let's go. So y'all get y'all tissue, a pee break, do whatever. We going back to the whacking room. And so she, she was ready. She had her grip this time. Mm-hmm. Putting on her gloves. You needed some Rocky music while she was getting ready.
Yeah,
because she was ready this time. And so she did a little hitting and stuff, and then we get the break of just the view of the house, and we hear the screaming, the screaming again, and so she getting out her shit.
She releasing it,
and that's pretty much where they left us for this episode.
Next week's the finale of this one, yeah.
And so I guess everything's gonna culminate in however she wants it. I believe the men are still there for that.
Mm-hmm, I think so.
And so it's coming together. We
it's like they're making a lot of progress that we're not seeing.
Yes.
We're not seeing them go through the process, but
we're seeing it seems like the women not as
they're not attacking it. Yeah.
It's actually about healing now. Mm-hmm. We gone through whatever, but I'm pretty sure there's still some
little tension,
whatever, because they still got to go to sleep at night. They still got to live with each other. And so the camera ain't on.
But I feel like now they know, since all the women are telling kind of what they've been through. I feel like you have more of a heart to
understanding.
People. You have more of an understanding. So you're not, y'all might be going in on somebody else that ain't in the house, or just telling stories. But I can't see them going in on each other like they did day one or day two. Yeah.
They're going to wait till they get out the healing house.
And possibly. But hopefully, when they get out the healing house, they're a little bit better. We're already seeing
let's hope they somewhat healed. And none of the scabs are snatched off from whatever. You got anything else that might be that pretty, pretty much it as far as the third episode. I enjoyed it. I'm waiting to see how how it ends, and see how she puts it all together with the women and somewhat with the men. Hopefully they get a change of heart.
Yeah, I'm sure seeing
on
this,
black women,
she realized that she needs to do this for men too.
Yeah, because there's a lot of hurt men, and we concentrate as far as women being emotional, but men are taught to be hide the emotion.
Right.
And so there's anger and resentment
and
there.
So that's why it looks a little weird when you see Coro and he's trying to share his feelings and not telling about his journal, and like you just don't see that too often, because like you said, men are taught like you stop crying, be strong. We men don't do that. Yeah. And then when you see men doing it, you're like, oh, so I wasn't wrong. There wasn't anything wrong with me when I was.
He said it's a diary of a mad black man. Yeah. I hurt too. I got a journal too,
Yeah.
So hopefully they'll do that show for the men coming up. Of course, we'll probably do that also. That's it, guys. If you like us, thumbs up. If you have any comments, leave them. We did do a quickie conversations, and we had one of our special guests from one of our shows other shows that we do, a podcast, Keep It Moving podcast that we do with our homegirl Novelty, and she had some nice comments to say about the situation that's going on with this Iyanla Fix My Life, the Healing House. So check that out. That's on YouTube also, and we'll have a quickie conversation hopefully this weekend for you, and talk about good old Trump and
a conversation.
And everybody else.
I thought we were doing a video.
I said conversation.
Okay.
No, I'm saying, did I say conversation?
Yeah.
Because I didn't mean that. Video. Just a regular quickie episode.
Okay.
And we'll do that.
Talk about old Trump.
Old Trump and, debate and everything else that's going on in this crazy, I was about to say city. This city too, because it's crazy, but this country. One more time. Anything else? I'm giving you a time because I want to hear. I should have said.
Nope.
All right. Till next time, folks.
Peace.